Welcome back, lads and ladettes, to episode 76. Now, as you well know, a couple weeks ago we had the first ever lads times lads Skin Co. Masters Snake draft, and I came out victorious. It was kind of somewhat of an unexpected turn of events, but we now have the privilege of being joined by the founder of Lads Skin Co. to talk about his involvement with his own company, as well as our recent partnership to kind of put on the event. So without further ado, welcome to the pod, James Heo.
Hey guys, thanks for having me. This is awesome.
Yeah, thanks for joining us, and thanks for sponsoring our first annual Lads and Lawn Chairs times Lads Skin Co. Masters Snake Draft. It was a pretty big success. Gave out our first winner, and ultimately the guy with the least amount of supporters on his team ended up pulling away with the draft. But that's just the way she goes sometimes. Those guys that picked you, McGee, they had the best odds of getting the prize pack.
Yeah, so that's what I was saying. Like if I was kind of just voting and wasn't involved with it directly, I just look for the team with the least amount of votes, increase my odds of getting that package.
That's actually really smart. Yeah, I completely screwed up. Clearly, I picked Simeni.
Yeah, Simeni. Yeah,
Simeni, and wow, just a dead last. First day off, dead last. Yeah, but it was awesome. Like I think a lot of people did the event, and we had a lot of good reactions from our audience, and it was a lot of fun. Yeah, thanks for partnering up with us, guys.
Yeah, thanks for being involved with that one. So briefly, before we kind of get into you and Lads Skin Co., could you just touch on what was involved in that care package that was handed out to the winner?
Yeah, so right now we're doing like a mini set of our dynamic duo, which is the moisturizer and face wash for men. And he had just send him the full set of that, and also another set of moisturizer that's coming up as well. So he got that, plus our new merch, our hoodies, a t-shirt, and yeah, that was. I hope he likes it. Sent it right away, right after he won with McGee's team.
Yeah. Well, you're rocking the new Lads Skin Co. sweater right now. I saw those. Those look pretty nice. So if you're on YouTube, you can see it right now, but they look really clean.
Thank you. Yeah, we just got it. This is still a sample one, but yeah, hopefully people like it. We got the backside too. The YouTube people can probably see it, but yeah, it's cool. It's a lot of fun, to be honest. Just getting new designs out, people like it, and we've been just getting good support from everybody. So
I want to kind of get in right at the beginning here. A lot of people kind of reached out about how perfect the partnership between the two brands was because of the name correlation. And I had a lot of people, and I think McGee did as well, reach out to us and be like, do you know these guys? Or like, are you affiliated with these guys? Because just the Lads and Lawn Chairs and Lads Skin Co. and stuff, and how well it worked out. And it was funny because right before we ended up actually partnering with you and working together, I had someone reach out to me, and it was like almost the tipping point of like, okay, this needs to happen now. And someone reached out and was like, hey, do you know these guys? Like, or is this anything you're affiliated with? And we were like, no, it's not. The funny thing is, I actually know James from prior to, because we both went to Western and we were in a marketing group project. I'm pretty sure we had to like rebrand Subway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And like, it was a 6-person project. 3 people were on the presentation team. 3 people were on the essay team. And of the 6 people in the group, James and I were the only 2 like English speaking students in the whole group. So I was in charge of the presentation team, and James is in charge of the essays. And I remember we like had to correlate and make sure everything was like going back and forth between the two to make sure it was all on par. Our group members were really good. Like there was no problem there. That's not what I'm implying at all. It was just funny that like that was how it ended up working out. And then a couple of years later, I have people messaging me being like, hey, do you know this guy? I'm like, yes, but not for the reason you think. Like,
no, that was hilarious because I don't want to pump our own tires, but we pretty much carried that group. I think
Yeah.
you carried the presentation, and I was just editing the whole essay.
Yeah. And I remember too,
I mean,
like right before it was due, James like sent me the essay. I read through it for him. I sent him the presentation. I'm like, here, check this out. Like we were like
yeah,
checking each
exactly.
other's work. So I'm like, you got like, you're gonna know. But yeah, ended up working out pretty well.
Yeah. James, I think before we even knew it was you involved with it, like I saw you guys on Instagram and reached out like months before. Well, I'll get to that part later about Figs kind of putting us in touch.
Mhm.
But I had reached out and you're like, oh, like we'd love to. It's great. Like good brand synergy, ready to go. It's like, let's just wait until our first product drops. So this was all the way back prior to you guys actually releasing your product.
Mhm.
And then months go by, I see that you do the drop. I get in touch again and nothing really kind of materializes. And Zach and I are kind of going back and forth. I'm not sure if you knew it was James, Zach, at this point. Maybe you did, maybe you didn't. I don't know. But then Figs, again, like we had so many people reach out to us and be like, all right, guys, like do something with this.
Yeah.
Kind of put us in touch. And we went from there and it was perfect timing. The Masters were around the corner. And yeah, it was great.
That's hilarious. Like the audience, like our listeners got frustrated. They're like forcing us to partner. They're like, do it now. Like seriously.
Yeah, this is too much, guys. Like, come on now.
Yeah, it was funny because Ryan, you reached out to the group, and I saw it and I was like, oh, like this is awesome. Like we both have kind of the same demographic of people, and I was super down. But like you said, like we didn't have any like officially launched yet. So I didn't think I was like had anything, value to provide you at that point. But I was like, okay, like when we drop, I'm definitely going to reach out to you guys. And Christmas goes by and New Year comes in. And then this whole golf thing comes around. Like Figs messages me and you in a group chat together. And I was like, okay, like now I got to do it. Like there's no backing out now,
Yeah.
And then I realized Zach was in it as well. And I just like, this is such a small world, like I was like, I know that guy. Like I know him. We definitely did a big project together.
Yeah.
But that's how it kind of like ended up. And it worked out pretty well. I guess, it just, if it's going to happen, it was going to happen sooner or later.
Yeah. So James, like take us way back prior to us even getting in contact with you, prior to you even starting Lads Skin Co. What kind of inspired you to get going, and how did you kind of see this as a business that you were going to pursue?
So this was like in my mind, like in college, like throughout college, and the first like light bulb was when in first year I lived in Saugeen at Western, and all my Zach just laughs, and I was living, it's crazy there, but all my
I was in
MedSid,
like the classy Saugeen is basically what I
was.
Yeah.
Both are still crazy. I was, so all my floor mates, all the guys that I knew use like bar soaps, and they would use just like body wash on their face, and they didn't really have like a skincare. And this is me in the shower. Like I had my separate like Dove like face wash, and I was like washing it separately, and nobody knew anything about it. Like all the guys had no clue, what that kind of was. They didn't have like a knowledge, or like it wasn't really normalized. So I thought, it's good for normalizing skincare for men. It's like healthier too. So I kind of saw that as like my first like enlightenment, I guess, like the light bulb, like, okay, like this could be a good opportunity. I think guys are willing to do it if you just like make it, more approachable in the market. Cause they thought, like all my friends thought it was like more girly in a sense. So I was thinking like, oh, let's make it not girly. Like let's make it, cool and more like masculine, and be more approachable and attractive for guys. And that's kind of like the base of the idea. And then once Corona hit, like after I graduated, I had so much time in my hands and I was like, okay, like I really wanted to do this for so long, might as well kind of give it a try. And that's kind of like the breaking point where I actually implemented it and executed this whole idea. Yeah.
So was it really like COVID that kind of put you into this position to start this, or like was this something that you might have gone with or gone through with other, like regardless of the situation?
I think eventually I would have, but I think COVID was like a good I think it was just like a good opportunity for me.
Right.
I had the time. I wanted to try it. Um, so I think it was good timing, but I think eventually I would have done it, to be honest, because I really thought it was a big niche to our consumers. So eventually, yeah, I think I would have done it maybe in the long run, but it was definitely COVID that kind of pushed me a little bit to actually take a chance.
So like when you first get started, I know like coming out of a business school or just school in general, and you have an idea in your hand and you're not sure, kind of, you have the education background. What's the first step? I feel like a lot of people, when they're thinking about starting a business, they just don't know where to start. What was something that kind of you prioritized first in your creation of your business?
Oh man, like I think if I could go back, there's a lot of things I want to do differently, but definitely just calling all the people that you know. That's like the biggest advantage you have, right? Other than other people. I think getting to, call the people that think have, more business knowledge or more networking, and just get more advice and do a lot more research and completely know exactly what you want to, how you want to do it. Because if you don't have like a clear business plan or set, like it's pretty hard to, it gets pretty disorganized. But yeah, just in general, I would say get on the phone, get on LinkedIn. I called like around 100 people that was in like cosmetic industry, and I was like, hey, like I want to do this. How do I do it? And it's surprisingly enough, like if you just ask, like people are willing to help. Right. So
Right.
always like reaching out for help, I think is the best, the first step, honestly. But that's me. And then, it's after that, you kind of have to just figure out whether that's financing and investment wise, but that's another like hurdle that you have to go over.
Yeah,
I guess it helps you too because you had the product in mind as well as demographic. Like you knew who you were targeting. It wasn't a question of where to where to begin there. It was kind of like, okay, this is where I need to go with this, and this is what I want to go with this. So that definitely helps narrow it down from the beginning, I would assume.
For sure. Yeah, it was mine was like super clear. Like it's guys, young guys, and it's skincare, like face wash, more like easy stuff. So it's like approachable and easy. And where do I go from here? Okay, I'm gonna contact like a bunch of like cosmetic industries that know exactly what I want, and it's easier for them once if they know exactly what I'm looking for. So then it gets just easier to figure out the next steps are.
For sure.
With like in terms of R&D and kind of like product creation, how did you test, like how frequently did you test your product and figure out kind of the mixture, the chemistry behind your product?
So the next step was like finding the manufacturer that I really want to work with, and that took just so long. I can't imagine like Jack from Crank, like he probably knows, just finding like manufacturer that understands your vision is so important. And they work with like chemists, dermatologists, and they create your own formula, and you tell them exactly how you want it, and then you get the samples and it's like, oh, this is completely not it, So
this is all wrong. This is all wrong.
Like not even close to what I asked for. But that was like the first. I still remember the first step. I keep it. I still have it. It was complete. I don't want to say this about my own, like, but it's research and
your
development,
team,
right? Like, it's my team, but like, it was pretty shitty. I'm not gonna lie. But it starts there, and then you have to work at it. It's never going to be perfect at the first try. But back to your question, it's like, yeah, I tried almost 100 more products on my skin. Like I was like my own experiment too, which is like pretty, I wouldn't recommend it, but with the whole yeah, exactly, like putting
break
like
out in hives, just like horrible reactions.
Exactly. You, especially with COVID circumstances, like I can't go out and be like, oh, to my friends and be like, oh, try this. I did a lot of like experimenting on my own, and that was really tough. It was tough, and that's why it's taking much longer. But you have to do it because you really want that product in your head that you think about and try to deliver it to your customers. So
yeah, got it down to a science. Perfect formula now.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, even now it's like there's always improvements, right? But
For sure.
it's getting there. It's getting there, which I'm happy about.
Okay, I gotta know, like, some of these samples come back to you. You said without sewering your team, like you mentioned, but like some of these samples come back, and what are some things that are wrong with them? I gotta know, like, you're getting a skincare product, but you look at it, it's like, okay, this smells bad, it feels weird, it looks weird. Like, what are some of these things that you're seeing when you get these samples back?
Yeah, exactly what you said. It's like the smell, like fragrance is important, like the texture is important. Does it absorb well? Does it like smudge all over your face? Like, is it nice,
Right.
or does it like hurt my eyes? The biggest thing is, does it irritate my skin? If that's the case, then that's because it's like an FDA kind of thing. I have to go through the FDA every time I get a sample. I have to register it because you can't just put anything on your face, right? So it's super important, and it has something to do with people's health. So I got to be very cautious with all these products. So yeah, it's like a lot of things that you look for, like scent, but most importantly, it's definitely if it's safe and does it actually provide that value.
Was there one that stuck out to you as like, okay, this is terrible, and what about it was like really bad?
There has been a lot, but definitely I'm going back to this, but the first one was absolutely like I can't even. It comes in, the scent was like like dog shit. and then it's strong. The scent was very strong. It was just like hurt, and like once you applied it, it just like my whole face started going red, and I'm just like freaking out. I'm like, oh man, like I didn't think
what did I just put on my face?
Yeah, exactly. I didn't know it was going to be this difficult. I thought I send them exactly what I want, and I thought it was going to be something exactly what I'm looking for, but it was completely not like that at all, right? So I was more in shock, and my face started going red. I was thinking like, oh, do I just like stop this? Like I actually thought of like, oh, this is not the direction or the business that I was going into. Like I was thinking like, oh, it's going to be easy. Like get the products and then, try it on. It smells good. It looks good. Like I'm going to throw it out there for the boys, but no, this was complete. It was really awful, to be honest.
Yeah. Start applying half your face, just end up looking like Harvey Dent from Batman. It's like, oh God. But man, it's been a long journey. It's been a long journey, and your product is like you said, it's miles ahead of where you started, and you're kind of gaining momentum, and that's great. Like what is next for Lad Skin Co? What do you guys see in your horizon?
Just once new products come out, try to get as much as awareness with a lot of people. But the next step is like just creating more products and creating more good content for guys to be comfortable and that they can resonate with it, be attracted to guys. And that's the whole, business like morale for us, is like the goal is like, we want to normalize skincare for guys. That's like our number one, like we're trying to fix that problem. So that's the next step would be trying to reach that goal, like slowly, but with, great content, like, partnering up with Lads and Lawn Chairs and getting good content and, getting on the golf course and all that good stuff while, getting that connection with skincare.
So what product lines do you currently have going right now? What kind of different skincare products do you currently have?
So right now I only have two. So it's the guy's face wash and the moisturizer, Lads moisturizer. So those two are just like the most basic in skincare. And I think even like basic wise, I don't think guys have that basic skincare routine. So I was just focusing on, okay, let's start with the basics. And once they get a little bit, comfortable with those, we're going to make a new product. Like we're going to put in like exfoliators. We're going to put out like eye creams or stuff like that. Because if I just put out eye creams right now, guys would just, especially our age demographics, they're like, what's an eye cream? Like I don't
overwhelming.
Even put on, yeah, exactly. I don't even put on, like sunscreen or moisturizer. Like, why are you giving me this serum? Stuff like that. So yeah, just slowly, product development wise, like slowly just like targeting the market one by one. We're actually creating a new product. It's like a exfoliator for guys once or twice a week, and get that going as well. So exciting things are coming up.
So I guess we'd like to officially announce, we have officially announced the partnership, but moving forward, Lads Skin Co. and the Lads and Lawn Chairs, we will be rebranding our Be Better segment as the Lads Skin Co. Be Better segment. Well, not you guys be better, but guys need to be better with their skincare. Yeah. Guys need to be better with their skincare, because I, for one, still use Bard soap. Oh. It's horrible. Horrible. Oh. I know. I hear the I need to be better with that. I need to be better with that. So we will have the Be Better segment targeted towards guys who need to be better with their with their skincare, and it will be presented by you guys. We'll be introducing that moving forward, and then working with you guys directly in terms of kind of like promoting your brand on the podcast, and directing our listeners towards your product, because I feel like all of our listeners need to be better, myself included. Maybe not Philly. Philly's skin is glowing right now, so maybe not Philly, but.
Yeah, I have been on a pretty heavy skincare routine since starting back landscaping. So, I got home, shower, moisturize, keep it clean. Yeah, got to take care of it.
Zach, what's your skincare routine like? Bar soaps or what?
No. It's I'll just say, maybe if I have to cut it, it's the brand. It's like beige. It's not out of the ordinary. So I use that, wash my face with that, and then I've got like a Cetaphil moisturizer and stuff, put that on, do that every single day. And then just like I have this exfoliating kind of thing I use like on the weekend at the end of my work week. Use that, clean it up as best I can. But since working, I started trying to like take care of it more, actually.
Right, because you said you're landscaping. Did you say you're landscaping?
Yeah, landscaping. So I get dried out and like sunburnt and stuff, but
oh man, yeah, that's the word. Like you gotta get sun cream on for sure. But like,
yeah, you know what? Actually, I am the worst with sunscreen. And here's just I'm gonna just throw this one in the blender for you. McGee and I brought up so many business and product ideas, but now we're actually speaking to someone who might be able to help with this specific one. I have two problems. One is when I put sunscreen on, I always just feel it's too greasy. So like especially when I'm working and it's hot in the summer and I'm sweating, like I hate that feeling. Like I feel like it's just thick and gross on my face. So maybe there's some kind of sunscreen coming out of Lads Skin
like
Co.
in the future. A matte sunscreen.
Yeah, it's just, who knows? Just throwing that out there. And then the other one is it's not a face problem, but I have this other one, not to say the brand, but it's like for working hands. Little wink man. And I use that because my hands get dry and cracked outside. But the problem I have is I hate, again, like the feeling of like that greasy, like slick feeling.
Yeah.
And I put it on before bed, and then I like don't want to get into my bed because I'm just like holding my hands above the covers. Like I don't want to put them under because like, this feels gross. So like I need a product that's just like doesn't have that, but can still moisturize. That's where I need to go. So
yeah, you're on top of your skincare like needs. At least like what you kind of want. I think that's like already like first step, right? Ryan over here is still using bar soap. Like that's
I do use Bard soap. Don't get me wrong, I do use Bard soap, but I moisturize as well. I got this like Aveeno It's got SPF built into it too. 15 SPF built into the moisturizer, so I'm always protected from the sun. That's why I'm so pasty right now.
Yeah, exactly. That's good.
Me.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I do that. I mean, definitely could be better. Definitely could be better.
Right.
And it's never something that kind of guys have learned growing up. I feel like women more often than not, or more often than guys anyways, kind of have that like practice or have that kind of knowledge and coverage in the media over what they need to do to take care of their face and skin. And guys, it's just like,
whatever,
wash it, whatever you got to do. Like,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. Another, so we are actually in talks with a sunscreen manufacturer company because I think guys, especially if they're, we're always outside, right? A lot of guys like love the outdoors and the activities outside, like working outdoors too. Just like it'd be nice to have something for guys and that guys could just like, say, yeah, it's from Lads, it's fine. Like I'm cool with sunscreen, like skincare and whatnot. But yeah, just like that stuff too. It's super, like sunscreen is super important, but yeah, you got your routine pretty knocked down. Yeah. And also, thanks for the business ideas. I gotta think about the hands one.
Yeah.
That's
pull out the phone on Notes app and
exactly. I'm just hold on a second. Let me just put that in. But actually I had another story, because I was at Western and let's say it's a Thursday night and you're not gonna not go out, and when you got and the whole week your skin was fine, and then Thursday you're going out and you're gonna see the girl that you were hoping to talk to, and you see like a huge like pimple or like a zit on your like forehead or like nose or right above the lips, like it's just like such a sewer, and
it's not a cold sore, it's not herpes, I swear.
exactly. You're trying to make a move, you're trying to dive in for a kill, and then boom, you get shut right down. You're just not confident. It's more so with confidence, right? You go into the game thinking I'm gonna lose. So I was telling the guys, like, imagine like if there's something like a quick, not necessarily makeup. I don't want to call it makeup because then it's like, oh, guys are like, nah, like I'm not putting on makeup. But if it's something like, like a quick, it's called the quick fix or whatever, Lads quick fix, or just like put that on like right before you go out and it's gone. Like you don't see it. It's invisible, and you're just more confident. It's not necessarily like, oh, zits are bad. It's like, it's unavoidable. It's inevitable. Right. But it's more so like Thursday night. I know that girl is coming to that bar. I got to look fresh. That's more of my thinking. But yeah, something would do like that. Like that was also like my inspiration too. Like just keep taking care of the skin and you have more confidence with yourself as well. So
take better. It's just in general, like you take better care of yourself, you feel better, and and in turn that confidence will skyrocket. You just be the best version of yourself. Treat yourself with care.
Exactly. It's healthier. So
yeah,
for sure.
Well, James, thank you for joining us. We appreciate you taking the time to come on here. Tell us a little bit about Lads Skin Co. Actually, wait, before we go, I need to ask, because we can't go throughout this interview without asking you. Lads Skin Co., how did you come up with the name? Why did you decide Lads Skin Co.?
I don't remember exactly how that name came up, but I think it was with the guys. And I think one of my friends, his name is Tooch, he always kept saying Lads, like, yo, what's up, Lads? It was always like someone was always saying that word. And, and I saw it like, oh, it's like guys, just guys. And it just screamed like young men. So I was like, that's like perfect. This is a sign. Like this guy, like I keep hearing it every day. And I probably heard your name, to be honest, like your guys' podcast. I may like, unconsciously like heard it. And it was always in my head. And I was like, Lads get like, it sounds catchy. So that's kind of like the name, like that's kind of the story. It didn't really like, I don't have a full story behind it, but it was definitely just like guys in college, like all the time I'd hear Lads, like, yeah, let's like, that's it. That's a Lads thing. Yeah. That's exactly. It just fits perfectly. How did you guys come up with it? Like, I'm curious.
We like before we even started the podcast, we spent like a good few days, 3-4 days, kind of brainstorming what we'd call ourselves, and like, we were close. We had a few things we were close to, and then I think Philly one day out of the blue just like texts me. He goes, "Lads in lawn chairs," like period. And I'm like, "Oh my god, it was done." He just decided. We knew we wanted to go with the alliteration. We'd like the. I don't know if it was gonna be like, I don't know, boys and banter, like whatever. We liked the alliteration aspect, and then it was just a matter of finding two words that worked together to kind of like exemplify what we were all about.
Yeah,
and it was just perfect. Philly pitched it, and it was perfect.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
The lads like kind of came about kind of the same thing as you in that like aspect of just who we were and what like our audience was. And then I remember every single one of us was on board with the alliteration. We all had kind of the same idea in mind. Yeah. And basically the whole theme of what we were doing and what we wanted to be was just like sitting down and shooting the shit with the boys and like thinking about campfire conversations or sitting around in our buddy's backyard and like drinking beers late at night and going swimming and stuff. And at some point it was just like lads was going to be a part of it. And then lawn chairs was just, it just made sense at that point.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, that was like, I saw the name. I was like, this is like the smartest name ever. Like lawn chairs. I'm always on a lawn chair with the guys having a beer. Yeah. Like we're literally having banter on a lawn chair, like every time. And then the alliteration, perfect. Like, spot on.
Just ended up working, and it's good now. We got the alliteration. We can like short form it or whatever. Just the lads, or people have called us like the lawn chair lads and stuff. So it all works out. It all works out.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. No, I just thought about Figs, Ryan, and I was like, that's definitely the lad of this podcast. Like getting that. Partnership getting going, and the connection right there I think he deserves it. And I just thought about him like kind of like coming to Western doing stupid stuff. I was like, oh, that guy would be perfect right now.
Yeah. Shout out Damian Figuera. You're the a lot of the week for this episode, but Figs we'll remember you. We'll remember you for what you've done. And we'll definitely get something your way as a little treat for hooking us up.
Yeah, a couple of free beers for Figs.
Yeah, exactly.
Hook him up. Yeah, thanks guys for having me again. This is a lot of fun. I don't think I had like this social interaction in a while, to be honest. This was exhilarating for me. This is my highlight of the day.
Unreal. Yeah, mine too.
Yeah, well, we appreciate you doing this. We appreciate you taking the time to come on and share about you and about Lads Skin Co. We look forward to seeing new products coming out. And guys, go on their Instagram page, follow them on TikTok at Lads Skin Co. Look at the giveaways that they're doing. If you're not sure about skincare products and stuff, or you're not fully bought in of, okay, yeah, skin products are for me, or I need skincare products, or maybe you think, no, I can just rock with the bar of soap. Go take part in their contest, because what's the harm in winning some free products from these guys and giving it a try and seeing where it goes? Maybe it changes your life. Maybe you try this stuff out and you're like, oh my God, like where has skincare routines been this entire time? And at that point, now you're hooked. Now you're just a Lad Skin Co guy for the rest of your life. And if you're already sold, if you're already using skincare products, but maybe you're scared to go to the store and pick up something that you think looks feminine, check out Lad Skin Co.'s website, because on there they have all their products listed, and it is a super cool design on the bottles. And like James just explained to us, the products work. They obviously smell good and they feel good. So, I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that. So make sure you go check them out. Follow them on Instagram, follow them on TikTok. And James, thank you so much for doing this. We really appreciate it. And we look forward to what you guys do in the future and for what the two of us can do together.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. Yeah, can't wait for all the future events we have lined up for your audience and everyone else. Yeah, thanks again.
Once again, we'd like to send a huge thank you over to James and the guys over at Lads Skin Co. for not only helping us with the Masters draft, but partnering us with us for the future and working together. So it's a partnership that Zach and I are both super excited for, and we look forward to what's to come. So without further ado, let's get into the rest of the episode. Zach, what do you say?
Yeah, let's do it. So episode 76, we didn't get into our player intro to start the episode because we had James on right away. Kind of broke down the Masters a little bit and what happened again in the competition, who he was rooting for, and then dove into his business and stuff. But Episode 76 player battle. McGee, what do you want to do in this player battle? Baseball is on in full swing right now. I was downstairs watching, and Randall Grichuk cranked an absolute bomb off of the pitcher Honeywell Jr. And immediately I'm thinking home run derby.
Oh,
This whole competition is about taking athletes and putting them in different sports and in different types of battles and competitions. And no better competition, I think, for two athletes to try something new than just a home run derby. You're just getting lobs thrown to you and you just got to launch them out of the park. I don't know if we said like let's throw like, okay, so there's 50 pitches. Whoever can hit the most home runs in 50 pitches. Let's just like give it that ballpark of a rule set, and we'll see where it goes from there. So our first competitor in the episode 76 player battle. He was drafted in the second round, 43rd overall in the 2007 NHL entry draft by the Montreal Canadiens. He's currently in his 12th season in the NHL, accumulating 757 games played, 110 goals, and 335 assists. He spent 7 seasons with the Montreal Canadiens, 3 with the Nashville Predators, and he's currently in his second season with the New Jersey Devils. A 2-time World Junior gold medalist, an Olympic gold medalist, and a Norris Trophy winner. A 6-foot, 209-pound defenseman from Rexdale, Ontario, PK Subban. His competitor was drafted in the first round, 3rd overall in the 1994 NHL entry draft by the Ottawa Senators. He played 14 NHL seasons before returning to play pro in the Czech, totaling 969 NHL games played, 194 goals, and 303 assists. He played 10 seasons for the Ottawa Senators, 2 for the Montreal Canadiens, and 2 for the Nashville Predators. A World Championship gold medalist and a Czech Extraliga champion. A 6'2", again, 209-pound center from Kirnov, Czech, Radek Bonk. Okay, so right off the bat here, couple things thought was pretty funny. One, both played for the Montreal Canadiens and Nashville Predators. 2, both 209 pounds.
yeah,
like
man.
if you go on their elite prospects, both specifically listed at 209 pounds.
That's such a specific, like it's such a specific weight. I feel like I've never seen anybody on like a hockey DB or an elite prospects who are 209. Like it's just so usually like 210, 215, like
Yeah.
And
And
you don't
it's
really
funny
see
too,
those
because like
odd
whenever I
numbers.
do these searches on these guys to put together these intros, I see like odd numbers of weights, which I think is kind of funny because they obviously read what's on the scale and write exactly what it says and uploaded it, and then it gets put into these databases. But every time I'm like, oh, do I just round up when I say it? And then I always think like, what if someone just goes and fact checks me and they're like, oh, you said 205 and it was 206. So I just say like the exact number because I don't want someone to pull that out on me out of nowhere and be like, you were wrong. It was 205. And then I see these two guys and I see both 209 pounds. And I was like, I need to make a point of the fact that they're both 209, like not even 209 and 208, both 209.
Yeah, that's it's an even battle. Like really a lot of people do that and like kind of change their weight and change their height. Like I know like there was speculation like that Kevin Durant was actually like 7'1" and not like 6'10" like his
Yeah.
records say. But, like,
I'm pretty sure that's true though.
I think
I'm
it is.
pretty sure that's true because this might be just completely wrong here. And this is such a like you and I thing to do to just throw this out. Like it might just be like a mythical thing I've heard. But I'm pretty sure Kevin Durant like listed himself at or wanted himself at that height so that he would be only considered for like small forward and power forward and not as a center because of his natural height. Because I'm pretty sure like once you hit a certain height, they like classify you as like something. And I think he wanted to be in the small forward, power forward height listings rather than center. So we like purposely got them to dock his height. And I think like if you play 2K, he's 6'9" or 6'10", like you said.
There's no way.
And so it just doesn't translate because when you actually watch him play, he's like so much taller and so much more skilled and stuff than everybody else. And especially for his height, he's like a unicorn. He's basically unstoppable. But when you play 2K, it's not to say he isn't incredible in the video game, but like his skills are diminished because in the game, he's not as tall as he is in real life.
Mhm.
So he doesn't have like that height factor in the game that you should have anyways. So I always thought that was pretty funny. But like,
Yeah, I think Kevin Garnett is another guy who did that too, and like made himself smaller. Like I'm pretty sure Kevin Garnett is like taller than KD and is like 7'1" or like 7'2",
really,
and he's just a beast. But he's like yes, like 6'10" or 6'11". Like
I need to like scan through, or somebody needs to scan through all of our episodes and just find like every time you and I have said something, because at least I will give us this, is we both will always say, I don't know if this is true, but we say it. People need to just go and like find everything we've said and just check it and see if it's true or not, or see if it's even close to actual truth. Because I feel like there would be so many things that you and I have said that are just absurd and they just like came out of our asses, just such BS. But we're just like say it with some conviction. I don't know if
yeah,
this is true, but this is what I've heard. We just roll with it.
well, man, there's a picture of KD standing beside like Giannis and Antetokounmpo, and like I'm literally looking at it right now. And I think the same thing goes with like DeMarcus Cousins. There's a picture of him beside DeMarcus Cousins, and like both Giannis and DeMarcus Cousins are listed as taller than KD. But in both of
Same
these
height.
pictures, KD is like the same height, if not taller,
Yeah.
than these guys. So
Yeah.
it's a little I don't know. It's strange.
Little
Something's going on
suspicious.
here. Yeah.
Um,
Huh.
okay, well, we got a little off track there from our player
Yeah.
contest. PK Subban, Radek Bonk, home run derby. McGee, do you want to start us off? Who do you think takes this competition?
Sure. I think PK Subban takes this one all day long. I think he's a more like compact 209. I think he's a more muscular guy and probably a better athlete than Radek Bonk was.
Okay.
I'm going PK Subban. I think that I've seen the guy train in the summers.
Yeah.
I've
His
seen him
summer
sprinting
training
around
videos.
the Bill Crothers track.
Yeah.
And I think that baseball isn't really that popular in Czech Republic. Like, I can't
Yeah.
know. I don't know if too many Czech guys are in the MLB or play baseball professionally. So I think Subban may have just a better natural understanding of the game and maybe played it himself growing up. So maybe he's got kind of already a decent skill set. So I'm going to go with PK winning the home run derby.
So last week we had a tie in our 1v1 boxing matchup. Ryan Reeves, Hal Gill. Put it on the poll. It was decided by the people as Ryan Reeves. Overwhelming winner. 85% of the fans voted for him. So that one is decided. Ryan Reeves. I'll take that one.
Yeah.
The champion.
I'm surprised it was that like lopsided.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think people just love Ryan Reeves. Think he's a nut.
Yeah.
But that being said, last week we had a tie. This week, no tie, McGee. I am on the same page as you. PK Subban here, I think, takes this one all day. Run it back to those off-season training videos that I know you're talking about. If you haven't seen them, just like Google or YouTube PK Subban off-season training. It's hilarious. Obviously, like every guy that's in the NHL who just like works really, really hard and puts in the effort and stuff is probably training somewhat similar to this. It's just hilarious that he's like putting out videos every single day of him doing these insane training routines and like agility routines and his crazy crossovers on the ice and stuff that he always
puts
people,
like,
and like
imitate that. Like people do his like PK Subban training impressions and they'll just put their head down and arch their back and just do a million crossovers, like carrying the puck across the blue line.
Yeah. But I think PK would just have obviously Bonk was like taken as a skill guy. He kind of didn't end up being 969 games, 194 goals, 303 assists. PK is only 80 less in 200 almost 200 200 less games played. As a defenseman, he has 32 more assists, 80 less goals. So he's 50 points behind and only 80 less goals, and he's a defenseman. So he's got the skill. He's won a Norris. Great hand-eye. We've seen his training routine. He's off the charts athletic, and I think he'd have so much raw power. He'd just be able to mash the ball. And again, going back to your point here, like just piggybacking off of you, I think that he swung a bat at some point in his life. And regardless of if he's like actually good at baseball, I think just some level of hand-eye athleticism and some minimal experience would lead to the ability to just crush a couple homers. Whereas I don't know if Bonk would just even have that in his arsenal at all.
Yeah. Never even seen a baseball bat in his life.
No,
He probably has. He played for Montreal. Like, I feel like probably been to an Expos game.
Threw out a first pitch at an Expos game.
Yeah.
But moving on here, we got our champion PK Subban, clear-cut winner in this battle. If you have any counter arguments to that, or you disagree with our take, let us know. Feel free, write in and tell us why we're idiots and where we went wrong here and what stats we're missing. Maybe Radek Bonk played in Little League World Series or something when he was a kid. He was the home run leader in the Little League World Series. Like, Ray Ferraro played in the Little League World Series.
Yeah, I did. I found out about that like this year, honestly.
Really?
Yeah, I think it's pretty recent.
But yeah, so maybe he did. Maybe he was a superstar baseball player and we just are complete fools and didn't do enough research on it. But PK Subban, episode 76, home run derby champion. So let's go right to what I saw on Twitter earlier this week. We've talked about, obviously, especially within the theme of the Lad Skin Co, of taking care of yourself and taking care of your own body and making sure your skin's on top of things, because it helps you feel more confident and it helps you get out there and feel good about yourself and feel good about life. I need to know, because I think both of us are in a pretty good hair position, knock on wood. We both have like thick curly hair on top of our heads, like pretty good hairlines, I'd say. I don't think we have that kind of. Yeah, like you got a solid, you're a great looking guy, nice hairline, good curly hair. You're doing well for yourself, McGee. But I saw this guy, and it's obviously not something that's uncommon. This definitely just happens. But this guy went and got a brand new set of salad on top of his head.
Wait, and like hair implants?
No, okay. So what it was is he had, I'm just gonna call it, like, this is the first thing that comes to mind, the ring of death. He's the ring of death on top of his head, okay. Like he's got the hair on the sides and but it wasn't completely bald on top. It was like patching through, right? Yeah. And so he's in the barber, and it was just like a TikTok video, but I saw it on Twitter, but it was how it's made, or how it's done, how it's made. They do like a whole how it's made series on this.
What a show.
But it's a how it's like done tutorial of new hair, and they like put this piece of plastic on his head, draw a circle of where like the new hair like glue or whatever.
Wait, is it the Asian guy?
Yes. I
think I've seen this one. I think I've seen it.
So they draw a circle, then they get the whole model made up, and then they shave the top of his head, and then they come back with this brand new hairdo, and they stick it on top of his head where they've just shaved like the new bald spot and stuff.
And I
was thinking, like, would you ever, if you were going bald, would you fight to recover it, or would you just go complete Messier up top and just get rid of it? And B, what do you do if you're the friend of somebody who shows up and does this? Like, McGee, if you showed up, if you were losing some hair, and it was like, okay, this guy's probably gonna go bald, and instead I see you on Friday, and you've got your thinning out hair,
wispy, like
it's going, and I know it's going.
I mean, I scratch my head. There's just you can just see it coming out.
And Monday you get on the podcast, and you have luscious hair.
Yeah,
I don't know what I would do, because I think like with our relationship, I think you're too nice.
You wouldn't say anything.
I would be like,
you'd be like this. You go like.
I'd be like a little bit shocked when you got on, but I don't know if I'd say something. Like, I don't know. Like, you wouldn't
chirp it. You might say something, but you wouldn't be mean about it.
But I would definitely say something to you. Yeah. I don't know if you could, like, I couldn't imagine just not saying anything though. Like, what do you think these guys' friends do? Like, they just completely ignore it?
And I feel like even if I did get something like that done and nobody said anything to me, I think that's what you're kind of after.
Like, hey, compliments. Hello. Like, new salad. Are you looking at me? Yeah, literally just finger pointing at your head, walking around everywhere. Like, hello. Yeah. Yeah.
Drawing all the attention to yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would never. I don't think I could do that, man.
No.
I don't think I could do it. Like if I was that desperate, one, like I feel like losing your style, it's kind of just a part of life. Some people are blessed with the genes where you can keep your hair for life, and then you become a silver fox, and that's the end of it. Like, congrats. But not everyone's as lucky. Like my dad's kind of thinning up top, not bald, but definitely like just I don't know. He's a 57, 58-year-old man. Like he's got hair that equates to his age. So
Right.
I don't think I'm gonna have this curly mop up top forever, but I don't think I'd fight it. Like if it was receding in like a really bad way, I might try to combat it with like product, like Rogaine or something.
Yeah.
But like I don't think I'd resort to getting a whole new like wig, like a whole new hairdo.
No. I'm
Like,
on the
yeah.
same page. I think my first natural step would be Rogaine or something. And then if it's like remaining the same and not or like not getting better or it's getting worse, I would go straight to Messier.
Yeah,
Like I would
dude,
just be
I
cue
feel
ball,
like
Mr. Clean up top.
you'd have a good bald head. Like I feel like you got a pretty even head.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I'd like to think so. Like I think I'd do okay as like a bald guy, but like I think regardless, you just like have to own it. I don't
Yeah.
think because I don't know.
Those are
I would never allow myself. This is the thing. I'll never allow myself if it gets to that point, knock on wood that it doesn't. I would not fight it and hang on for dear life. I would never be in the in between stage. I won't let myself do it. I won't be like thin and balding in spots or like have a huge bald spot. If it's going, gone. Get rid of it.
The worst is I've seen a guy, can't remember where I saw him, probably best that I don't remember.
Yeah.
Because he might listen and might like, no, but this is me. But I've seen a guy who's like balding pretty badly. And actually I remember where he's from now, but I'm not gonna say it. He's balding really badly. And he grows his hair out. Like I don't know him personally, so it's not like I'm roasting a friend here. Like,
okay,
and I'm not even roasting. It's just what he does. Like,
yeah.
So he grows his hair out, and it's really long because he's balding up top. But he grows the sides really, really long, so that he can like do the comb over, and like glue it down onto his head, so you can't see the bald patch.
Oh,
so he's got long salad. He's got long salad, but nothing up top, and it's like it's like from one just whoosh, over to the other. And
Johnny Capahala wave up there.
Yeah, he's got a wave. So I wouldn't do that. I think I just commit. I wouldn't want to resort to changing my normal hairstyle to cover up anything.
Yeah.
I think I just want to, like, if I was going bald and all hope was lost, I'd try a few products, and if that didn't work, I wouldn't do a comb over. I wouldn't do any of that. Just like
just gone.
Just commit.
Yeah, just gone.
Or if you're that like insecure about it, then maybe if it was like ruining my confidence and I couldn't do anything and I just like didn't like how I felt, then I'd probably get a hair transplant. But I wouldn't get like a sticker up top, like because man, the amount of people that have had hair transplants, dude, I get it. Because like look, Steve Carell has had a hair transplant.
Really?
Yeah, Elon Musk has had a hair transplant.
I knew that. I don't know why.
Matthew McConaughey has had a hair transplant.
I knew that too, actually.
Yeah, and that's just the three I know off the top of my head.
Okay.
So I mean, like if it's that bad, but that's only if like I want to own it. Like I want to own it regardless. But if it's like got to the point where it's can't get out of bed in the morning, so I'm scared of like people yelling at me and calling me a monster in the streets, like then I'd probably get a hair transplant. But that's like. It's probably not going to happen. That's worst case scenario.
Yeah. I think you also have to combat it early because the other thing too, I just thought about with you saying like hair transplants is like, let's say you get to that point where you've got like the ring of death and you're like, okay, hair transplant time. It's extremely noticeable. Whereas if you catch it and you're like, my hair is going thin, you go and get hair transplants, it might go undetected. And people just might not realize. And they're like, wow, you got nice hair. You got a nice set of hair. Whereas if you go the other way, people are going to be like,
yeah,
that guy got new hair.
Thanks. It's from my ass.
Yeah.
Isn't that what they do?
I'm pretty sure they like take it from other parts of your body for sure.
Yeah.
But Yeah. I don't know. I respect that call. I think we're on the same page there of combating combating baldness.
Yeah.
Or just owning it completely.
Or just
I
owning it.
do.
It's kind of a both. It's a two-part process. It's one, just doing what you feel comfortable doing to like combat it. If it's like that ruining your day, then like Rogaine, use some product. I would never like take drastic measures right away. I just try to do the little like herbal supplements or whatever the hell like goes on, and then at that point, I just own it and just like shave it or like get a buzz cut. Who knows? Do what you got to do. But I wouldn't like one. Don't cover it up with your existing hair, and
Yes.
two, don't get a hair transplant unless it like impacts your life.
Yes.
There we go.
There you go. Life advice from the lads.
Yeah, that's tough. That's a tough one, man.
It is. It is a tough one. It's
I feel like we're at that age too where it's like starting. You know what I mean?
Well,
like,
okay. So I know some people and I have some friends who either have been going bald or are bald already. So this one guy, I won't say his name, but he's been probably going bald since we were like 16, I'd have to say. And this guy literally one day, I think it was 3 years ago, I was in university. Me and Josh Goodwin, who from the Raptors Digest, we were like hanging out one day, and we both got a Snapchat from him at the exact same time. We opened it up, and he just went full, like he just fully committed and went bald. And he just said new haircut. That was like what the Snapchat said, new haircut, and he just went no salad anymore and just completely owns it. And like it's hilarious because that's just like you just look at him now and he's just bald. He's just a bald guy.
Boy, wait,
Yeah.
like just take initiative. And also, I know a few people who are like receding or like losing, thinning up top, and then just like constantly wear hats all the time.
Yeah.
Like hats, like you don't see them without a hat.
Yeah. I used
It's
to wear
just, like-
hats all the time, and then I got scared that I was gonna go bald. So I
because I feel like that makes it worse.
retired.
One, it makes it worse,
Yeah.
and two, like I don't know, if you're wearing your hat inside and you're wearing your hat to the bathroom, and then wearing your hat out of the bathroom, and then like maybe in the shower too. I don't know what goes on in there, but like I feel like wearing your hat makes it worse.
Yeah.
So just take off the cap and
Own it. Just own it.
no one cares, man. Like no one. The only person that it affects is you.
Yes.
But I feel like if you like went or if you just shaved your head or cut it a little shorter or did whatever you had to do, like no one, people would respect you for it.
I agree.
And it's just more natural than wearing a hat like everywhere.
Yeah. Well, that's our lads chat on baldness and combating that. So if you were feeling unsure about what to do, where your next steps were, just take it from Ryan and listen to this episode of the podcast. What should we call this one? Combating male pattern baldness. Yeah, and there you go. Featuring Lads Skin Co.
Yeah, that's a product we should have suggested to them.
Yeah.
A little hair growth serum.
Yeah, that's next on their list. And that's next of what we'll be sponsoring or will be sponsored by. Anyways, speaking about things that you see online and on TikTok, something that it's the only... Okay, you said a couple episodes ago that it might be the weirdest thing you've ever said on the podcast. You told me that you've been falling asleep to Kung Fu Panda.
Yeah, okay, that's long. I've finished all 2 movies.
Okay.
Like they had the 2 movies. I watched both of those. Probably took me like 16 nights total, like 8 nights, 8 nights per movie. I just slowly chipped through them, and it was great. And then it was done. And then I know that Kung Fu Panda's got like a little like side like series. I'm not gonna do that. Can't stoop that low.
No.
But then last night I was watching like a Esquire magazine. Jack Black breaks down his like most memorable roles, and he didn't even talk about Poe from Kung Fu Panda. It blew my mind.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow.
mind you, actually, I didn't get all the way through the video, but I'm a big
It's the last thing you talked about. You saved the best for last.
I might have missed it, but Dewey Finn from School of Rocks is like just all time.
I haven't seen School of Rock.
Dude, you're kidding me.
No.
It's probably
I
my
haven't.
top 5 or top 3 favorite movies of all time. It's such a feel-good flick, man. You got to watch it. It's on Netflix too. It's so easy to access.
Okay.
And you'll like watch it and you'll be like, you'll have a smile on your face. Like it's just a great story, great music, feel good flick.
Okay, I'll give it a
It's
watch. I'll
unreal.
give it a watch
Yeah.
and I'll review it.
Please do.
Okay. Anyways, so what I see on TikTok and relating to you talking about falling asleep to Kung Fu Panda, here's my something people might just think is weird is I don't fall asleep to this, by the
Yeah.
way. So it's not people out there
Yo!
listening. Don't.
I'm just recording a podcast, man. No problem.
Come on, reader, wake up. So don't jump on me here. I don't fall asleep to this, but it's something I enjoy watching. It's kind of weird is chiropractor like TikTok.
Dude, you watch
They
the Houston chiropractor? You guys with the
Yes.
southern accent? Like
Yes. And they just
So-
crack people's backs in different ways, or like their elbows and their necks and like their legs and their feet. And it's so satisfying. I need it to happen to me because I need everything cracked. And I just like it's so satisfying. It's oddly satisfying. I'm not into ASMR or any of those kinds of things. Like I just don't like that stuff. I think it's not for me. But chiropractor cracking, I'm all in. I'm all in.
dude, yeah. You should like if you could invest in tech or like invest in like trends like videos where it's
Chiropractor
gonna-
cracking.
chiropractor cracking. I'm in the same way, man. I think it's great. And I love seeing those like hunchbacks, like mangled scoliosis people come in. And then the guy just works his magic and cracks everything and they leave like 6'5". And
Yeah. They're like,
It's
oh,
fun.
look, here's how tall you are. You're 5'7". Let me just crack your back 30,000 different ways. Oh my goodness, you're 6'4".
yeah,
Like,
yeah. And they come in, they get the strap around the neck and just yank their spine up the table.
it's insane because you're watching it, you're like, this can't be safe. And then they're like breaking their neck off their body. And then the person's like, oh, I feel so good now. And
Yeah.
they're like, oh my God, I need this now. Somebody like strap around under my chin and pull my head like that, please. Like,
Yeah.
I need
I
that
can't-
crack.
Dude, apparently you got to sign waivers every time you go to the chiropractor. Like I think like that's in case you die, like they're not liable.
I didn't know
'cause,
that.
like, there have been a few chiropractor like deaths. Or not well, the chiropractors don't die, but their patients have died. Because I think like a chiropractor is not actually like a doctor. Like I don't think you can go to chiropractor school, but I think it's like an independent section of like medicine
Oh,
of health.
I
Like,
didn't
I
know
don't think
that.
it's actually like a registered profession. Like I don't know if I'm wording this correctly or not, but I
There's
think
another
it's
lad's
separate. There's
myth.
some sort of weird like caveat with like how chiropractors operate, that it's not like affiliated with doctors or like surgeons
Oh,
or,
okay.
or like massage therapists even. Like chiropractic is just kind of like they're like the black sheep of
Gray
the
zone.
community. Yeah.
Okay, I'll have to do some research on it and find out then.
But they're great,
Yeah.
dude. I love going to the chiropractor.
Oh, going to the chiropractor is so satisfying. We used to go so often when I was younger and go there and they just like crack your hips, your knees, your
Mhm.
shoulders, your neck. Everything feels so good. And you're just like walk out of there feeling like $1,000,000. I need to go
You get some
again
like
and just like
dry needling sometimes too. Like I've gotten some needles in like my rotator cuff at this chiropractor,
Okay.
and it like clenches the muscle and like makes it spasm, and it feels so good. And then it'll like do some weird like you get my shoulders like cracking, and then he'll like I went to the chiropractor this summer because I was working online like remotely all the time. I was just hunched over my desk, so my back got really sore.
Mhm.
So I went to the chiropractor and they were just cracking the shit out of me and like they put me sideways and like ripped my hips back and pushed my shoulders forward and literally wrung me out like a towel on this table. And then I was diagnosed with scoliosis, man. I have this tiny, tiny little bit of scoliosis. And they're like, well, like you probably had it for a while, but it's just one of those things like you're too old now. We can't correct it. So like I'm just gonna be apparently there's this tiny little bit, but
Yeah.
technically I have scoliosis. Yeah.
There you go. There's your new could have went pro if it wasn't for the scoliosis.
Exactly, man. Who would know? Like who would have thought?
You never know.
You
never know.
You never know.
But McGee, that about does it for episode 76. I think we got to have on James from Lad Skin Co.
Yeah.
We broke down our episode 76 player comparison, PK Subban, Radic Bonk, and we didn't mention Radic Bonk. Incredible mullet.
Dude, great
Incredible
mullet.
mullet. Yeah.
Great mullet. And I'm pretty sure he's got a big ass head on him too.
Does he?
Like, I think he's just got a melon up there. Because we had this guy that I used to play hockey with, and his nickname was Bonk because he had a big head, and it was after Radek Bonk. So we just called this guy Bonk all the time. And I think it's because Radek Bonk has just got a big dome.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So yeah, broke down PK Subban, Radek Bonk, our runaway winner, PK Subban, home run derby. He just smashes Radek Bonk out of the park. No pun intended, but also all the pun intended. And then we dive into solving early male pattern baldness and get into our new trend that we're all on board of chiropractor cracking on TikTok and Twitter and all kinds of social media. So any kind of chiropractor cracking that you have or you find, please just tag me in it or send it to me or something, because I want to see it. I need to like know that could happen, and I need to know that like I could have that kind of relief. That's what I'm looking for.
And I think this episode was just all about wellness.
It was
how to take care of yourself, how to prevent baldness, how to look good, how to feel good.
That's what we do. We find a theme and just bring it into our own twisted way of just generalizing it to everything. We talked about the most ridiculous things, and McGee scrubbing his face with Bard soap, and
it's Dove soap. So
okay,
like,
Dove. My bad. Dove Bard soap, Dove Bard soap, and losing your salad and getting your neck broken at the chiropractor, and next thing you know, people are out here feeling good about themselves and shaving their heads completely, and it's because of us. It's all because of us, inspired by us, for other people to feel good. That's just what we do here.
Yeah, we just bring joy to people's lives.
Exactly.
No other way to put it. It's part of our life.
I'm glad we could do that, McGee. I'm glad we could bring some smiles and happiness to people's lives and give them some inspiration moving forward. And always love seeing your face. Always love hearing from you, catching up on how your week's been and what you've been up to, and having you here to sit with me and talk about this absolute nonsense and help other people out. So
thanks for happy to be a part of it. This. Yeah, dude, of course, man. Of course. Pleasure's all mine. That being said, like you said a little bit earlier, it's the end of episode 76. So the only way to listen to us some more is to catch us next week. Same time, same place, same lawn chairs. Cheers, lads and ladettes.
Cheers.